Warning, the following podcast contains speculation, which may be confused with spoilers, although it may also contain spoilers. You have been warned. We ain't found Sith! Hello, and welcome to We Ain't Found Sith, Issue 7. I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the shit in your cereal, you morose motherfuckers. Bong! I'm Evan, and I'm joined by my co-host, my friend the talking banana, Pedro.
Yeah, there's a game. Hi.
And with us for, what is it, like week 3, week 4?
Yeah, what are you still doing here?
What?
Is our good friend Louie.
What's up, guys?
And as always, on the ones and twos, making sure that the recording is going right, producer Fungus.
What up?
All right, guys. So, a bit of news that dropped this week, huh?
There's a bunch of shit that happened.
Yeah.
Like what? Tell us about it.
Well, I think first of all, if we go back to last week, right after we recorded our last episode, we got a new trailer for Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, perfect timing too. It was like right after they couldn't just do it one day early, so we could have talked about it that day too.
Yeah, I know.
How perfect was that?
But
They wanted to piss us off.
But yeah, did you guys keep seeing the same things that I saw about that trailer?
Depends. What did
what
you
are
keep
you
seeing?
about?
The comments about like Thor missing.
Oh, no.
Thor? I know. I didn't notice that. I just
didn't
noticed that part in the end where they're like trying to tell us that Captain Marvel was actually good.
Yeah. But it's
I like this one.
Oh, I like this one.
Yeah, I think the thing I saw was like, Thor, you missed. And I was like, ooh, do we really?
They said that?
Yeah, like it
I
was,
didn't catch that.
it was like a YouTube video or something like that.
Oh shit!
I didn't click on the link. I didn't watch the rest of the thing.
You notice on the poster, everyone's looking off to the left and he's looking off to the right at something?
Yeah, but I think that's like on every poster.
Yeah, it's most of them, except except Ultron. For some reason, he's always looking off at something.
Because he's Thor, man. He does what he wants.
Yeah. He doesn't believe in our mortal coil.
in our mortal directional patterns.
He's a god, and he does whatever he wants. It's kind of how it works. But yeah, man. Anything about? I mean, I don't want to do too deep a dive because
I could do a little bit of a dive, bro. I could do a little.
Yeah,
bit
we
of
know
dive.
you can, Pedro.
Yeah.
Maybe we
All
don't
right,
want to see you
guys.
dive.
let's get into the
No, maybe we do.
speculation, which could be confused with spoilers.
Well,
Hey, you said the thing from the.
oh, it's that thing from the. That was good.
It's that thing you said.
It's speculation time, boys.
Uh,
So first off,
the spacesuits, right?
there's the space suits, the quantum suits,
The
whatever.
quantum suits, 'cause
whatever.
they have to be quantum suits because they look just like Ant-Man suits. It's the same shit.
Yeah,
So-
they do have a striking resemblance. Yeah.
But it's white, right?
Right, but if you look at the patterns on it, it looks like Ant-Man suit. It's like
Mm.
very similar.
Cool.
You-
So then they might go into the quantum
realm, yeah.
realm.
That'd
That's
be pretty
fun.
sick.
You think they're gonna give them like just a standard helmet, or are they gonna
that
give you like
sounds
each
fun.
character a somewhat like customized helmet?
Nah, I don't fucking know.
Probably depends how
It
long
would
they're
be
gonna be in
cool.
there, right?
Oh, you know, it'd be actually awesome if they like all get suited up for it, and then Ant-Man's like, "We don't really got to do this," and they're like, "Okay, so we won't." They just don't do it. They got everybody talking about it, but no.
That'd be
Or
awesome.
if that scene's not in the movie at
Yeah, exactly. Just gotcha.
all. Well, that brings us to something that the Russo brothers said recently in an interview. Is that because they asked them about it? They were like, "Hey, when the Infinity War trailer came out, you showed us the Hulk in Wakanda, and there was no Hulk in Wakanda."
It's true.
And they're like, "Yeah, we do that to throw people off. So not everything in the Endgame trailer might be as it is in the movie. So
Yeah,
They
they
should
did.
have had them form Voltron.
that would have been dope.
That's the wrong franchise, dummy.
Like
They could have-
Iron Man built a Voltron in his spare time.
They could have all the quantum suits be different colors, and then they could be the Power Rangers.
Fuck it, they should just make a Power Rangers movie.
Just make a good Power Rangers movie.
I think they're working on a sequel to the Power Rangers.
Oh,
movie,
please
so.
don't. Just stop. Just stop.
Actually,
it.
I saw that movie. It wasn't that bad.
I didn't even see it. I'm just talking shit.
I saw it, but I don't know. I think they focus too much on the teenagers, their life, their teenage life, and not enough on Power Rangers. I felt like the movie wanted
Oh, you
to
mean like the first hour and a half?
exactly.
Hold on.
Like I feel like as the movie.
Hold on. I gotta reel you guys back into the fucking Avengers. You
Okay,
guys are
yeah,
going
yeah.
off topic.
Sorry, for another time.
That tangent is for another
I
conversation.
can never not talk about Power Rangers.
This is
okay?
true. This is true.
Or Voltron.
But
Okay, Avengers.
it's
I'm a
actually more
sucker-
interesting than what we are actually talking about. But
Well, because we don't know anything, right? Like,
Yeah, like
yeah,
a
that's the thing. It was
speculation.
all like just
it's a bunch of random images that we
yeah.
don't know how they fit together.
Well, I actually kind of dissected a little bit. So Rocket Raccoon is 100% wearing his comic book accurate costume with the buttons and the the soldier thing, and aside from Rocket, there was also a little girl shooting arrows with Hawkeye. That has to be Kate Bishop,
Yeah.
the new Hawkeye. There was also a glimpse.
Well, the future Hawkeye.
Future Hawkeye.
Because she's still a little girl in that.
Right. Well, yeah. And then there's also the suit that Hawkeye was wearing, which resembles the Ronin suit.
Well, no, I think they said that like a year ago or something.
Oh,
that-
they
that
did?
yeah, it's the Ronin suit.
I'm sorry, I'm not on top of things. But yeah, so that has to be Ronin because he also had a sword in one of the fucking things. So that's the Ronin suit. And what else did I notice? Off the top of my head, those are the ones that I remember. Like,
Still no Hulk in the trailer.
oh yeah,
Even though we did get him in that leaked image.
yeah, the toys, right? Wasn't he?
No, it was the Orville Redenbacher contest or
There you
something like
go,
that
yeah.
that leaked the image of the Hulk. But we get in that scene where they're in the suits, we get Nebula in that
Nebula,
scene,
right?
but not Tony Stark.
Do you guys think Nebula is going to be a big part? Because I actually do think so.
I hope so.
Well, I don't feel like they would have gone through the trouble of trying to redeem her in Guardians 2
I agree.
and then, had her in that torture scene and all
I
that.
agree, and I'm pretty sure they're going to showcase her, which is awesome because I kind of like Nebula.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Well, I'm just a fan of Karen Gillan in general.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
she's
Doctor
gorgeous.
Who.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I love her.
Oculus.
And
who doesn't love a Scottish ginger?
of course,
Yeah.
they're like the best. And then you have Scarlett Johansson just shooting bullets like that's going to do anything. It's not, but it's okay.
Well, I mean, you always got to work on your aim. 'Cause
That's
you never
true.
know when you might get
That's
an alien
true. Maybe
gun.
she gets an alien gun and shoots some people's heads off. Whatever.
Maybe she goes for the head like Thor didn't.
Yeah, Thor. God damn it. God damn it. And then
That would be cool. Like all this talk about like can Captain Marvel defeat Thanos? It'd be cool if just Black Widow pops a cap in his head.
yeah, honestly, I want to see either Cap or fucking Downey Jr. or
Well,
Iron Man.
Well, let's be honest. We want a knockdown, drag out brawl between the Hulk
Yes.
and Thanos at some point.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be fun.
Yeah, but ultimately, I want to see one of those guys because they're signing off, right? They're not going to do any more movies.
Okay, so yeah, I think Robert Downey is at the end of his contract.
Yeah. So is Cap.
And
Cap.
so is Chris Evans, who
Yeah.
said he said a few years ago that he wanted to start moving behind the camera.
Yeah, he wanted to direct.
And so he's already thinking about retiring anyway. So,
Mhm.
we don't know who else. We don't know. I mean, at this point, we've been 10 years in. We've got quite a few people under contract.
That's
that
true.
Sam Jackson has in the past talked about like how like his contract he's not very happy with it and stuff like that. So
I mean, stop complaining, bro. You barely do anything in these movies. He just shows up. So whatever, doesn't matter. But I want to see one of those guys who are leaving get the.
yeah,
You
that'd
know,
be.
But I would like to also see like Gamora be a big part of it because at least it'll just tie in a little bit with the comics, and I like that. I like it when they tie in with the comics. Already because they don't fucking have Warlock at all. Like they teased us for fucking like 4
2 movies.
Yeah, 4 years.
Guardians 1 and Guardians 2.
4
they teased us
years,
without
and those
Warlock.
motherfuckers did nothing with them.
Unless they
Get
just
outta here.
drop them on us and
Yeah, that would be
no explanation.
That'd be terrible. Yeah, imagine he just comes in, knocks Thanos in the head, kills him, and he's like, "You're welcome, guys," and flies away.
Although Adam Warlock was never that kind of character in the
Yeah.
books. Gus, you look like you got something on your mind.
Yeah, like if they leave it up to one of the characters to be the hero, who would you guys want that to be? Pedro already said either Cap or Iron Man.
Yeah,
What about
for
you
sure.
guys?
Oh, for me, Ant-Man. I wanted to just jokingly, accidentally save the day.
Ant-Man just
Whoops.
Ant-Man goes into Thanos and then like goes back to like regular size while inside.
Goes up his butt.
Wait, wasn't that a fatality in Mortal Kombat?
It should be.
It
Like,
should be.
I feel like
yeah.
that was like a fatality in Mortal Kombat. Some character goes like into somebody's body and then like.
Oh yeah, no, that
rematerializes.
definitly. But about going up someone's butt, I don't know about that.
Well, I never said up the butt.
He did.
I just said going into him. No, I think honestly, I mean, I think you got to go Iron Man, right?
I would,
first of all, you have that
I
confrontation.
prefer as much as I love Downey Jr. I love Cap over.
But like, well, first of all, Iron Man's the one that started this whole thing.
Yeah, but that wasn't.
But then also, you remember you get that like scene with him and Thanos where he's like, "You're not the only one that's cursed with knowledge." So I kind of feel like it's kind of like that's what it's been leading up to. And then also like, if Downey Jr. is going to get out of the franchise, what better way to send him off
Yeah.
than by him taking out the bad guy while sacrificing himself or something like that? You know,
Yep. I agree.
like it's an appropriate send off,
Yeah.
right?
I agree
You know?
100%. I would love
We don't
to
want
see
another cat scratch.
that. No,
Yeah.
oh my lord.
So then once the Avengers go away,
oh boy. You don't want to hear what I've been hearing.
Whoa.
why?
It looks like Cap Marvel's going to be the leader of the gang. And then you're going to have the rest of the Avengers, the band of misfits that are left over, to be the fucking
The new Avengers?
Yeah.
Well, we don't know.
Oh, man.
That's what they're saying. I don't know if that's actually
the
what's
only
happening.
thing that we know post in the Endgame is Spider-Man: Far From Home,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much done.
And I think it's 6 months of no movies, or at least
And
a
even-
year or something.
And even then, like I heard a theory saying, like, oh, what if Far From Home takes place in between? Because what if Far From Home is like they go off to Europe, and then when he comes back from Europe is when you have that scene on the bus in Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's a theory, but
Yeah.
we don't know yet.
So then Fox was bought by Disney. So then maybe it would be cool if they started doing the X-Men movies now.
Oh my God.
You know
It
what?
would be so perfect. No, I'm
Yeah.
agreeing with
Oh,
you
okay.
so hard.
I thought you didn't.
No,
Like leave the Avengers alone now.
no, for
Focus
sure.
on X-Men. Then down the road, it would be cool to do like an X-Men, bring some of the Avengers back for like a crossover movie. We haven't seen them in years, and then they come back and like do a reunion for an X-Men Avengers movie.
Yep.
That'd be
I would
cool.
be. I'm down
And then
for
just
that.
end it like that. Or do
I
something
am gonna
completely new.
slightly disagree with you guys
Okay.
in that I think, first of all, you got Dark Phoenix coming out,
Oh, well,
and I think after that bomb drops, like you're gonna want to separate yourself from the X-Men franchise for like at least a year and a half.
you sound like
Mm.
Pedro right now. You're already criticizing a movie before it came out.
I don't think they necessarily are gonna want to do that because, what's the fucking kid from Facebook that made that whack ass Spider-Man, and then the fucking next year they made the new Spider-Man.
Oh, Andrew Garfield, I think his name
Yeah.
was.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah. Wait, but
Yeah.
it was a year apart?
I mean,
No,
it was
that
like
was a
it was a little more than that, but it was almost right after.
Yeah, it was close enough.
Huh.
That
But
it's
no,
like,
what I mean is like, I think before you go into an X-Men franchise from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, introduce the Fantastic Four.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Forget the X-Men. I want to see a good Fantastic Four.
We
movie.
got one. It's called The Incredibles 1 and 2.
No,
There's two of
no. If it don't got Doctor Doom, it's not good.
This
enough.
is
let's-
true. This
hang
is
on,
also
I
hang
true.
on.
love Doctor Doom.
We've got a character with stretchy powers,
Uh-huh.
a character with invulnerability and super strength,
Correct.
a character with force fields that could turn invisible.
The only misfit is that running guy. 'Cause
Yeah.
he makes no
Well,
sense.
but the baby can turn on fire.
Yeah, well, that's the part 2, but part 1 didn't have that.
Yeah, it did.
He
It-
exploded? No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
He
He like sets himself on
He
fire,
does-
like
he has,
when
like,
Syndrome
all the
grabs him.
powers.
Yeah.
He has whatever he wants.
Well, he's like Franklin Richards. He's
Yeah.
like, I do whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
And as much as I love the Incredibles, they're straight up a bootleg of the Fantastic Four.
But it's a good bootleg.
no, like I
it's
said,
the best we've
I
gotten
love
for like the
Incredibles.
past 10
In
years.
fact, get me the people from Pixar that made The Incredibles to do the script for Fantastic
There
Four.
you go.
And Nick Fury's already in it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Frozone. That's right.
That's right.
Where is my super suit?
Yeah. Asked to see you.
Oh man.
Yeah, bro, dude, a Doctor Doom.
Wait, better
Fantastic Four.
Ice to See You. Frozone or Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin.
Oh, Mr.
Oh,
Freeze.
Mr.
for
Freeze
sure.
wins everything.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Freeze versus actually good character, Mr.
Anything
Freeze.
that Arnold
to see
Schwarzenegger,
you.
anything that Arnold Schwarzenegger does automatically wins.
Yeah, automatically.
Oh my god.
in an ironic way. That's
Yeah.
That's how
Oh.
it wins.
You know what was on last night?
What?
The Running Man.
I've never seen that movie.
Oh my god. It is a treasure trove of Arnold one-liners.
Is it really? I've never
It's like
seen that
every
one.
5 minutes it's just like another Arnold one-liner.
There was a good point where there was only Arnold movies coming out. Like even he did that Jingle All the Way. It was Jingle
that was
All the
our,
Way, right?
That was called our
Favorite
childhood.
Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called our childhood.
it was just a whole bunch of Arnold movies.
Jamie.
Whatever.
Anyways, I
Going
digress.
back to the
and then
Fox thing.
yeah, and then the only other thing we know about the post Endgame universe
Mhm.
is that James Gunn is back for Guardians.
Oh
3.
my lord. Yes, thank God, bro. Oh my lord. I was so pissed off when I saw them kick him out for some bullshit for 10 years ago. Like, you guys know about what happened?
He
Well, for the
posted
people
some-
listening,
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, he made some stupid jokes 10 years ago that were crass and not fit for repetition that, was 10 years ago.
But-
and
he was working at Troma
he was,
Film.
exactly.
And have you seen any Troma films? They're at the bottom of the barrel in
Yep.
in
Their
dirty
whole
jokes,
thing
gore,
is shock.
value.
That's
Exactly. That's their thing. That was the brand. So he was just going with the brand.
He was
image
just
of who
promoting
he was
his
working
own
for.
brand.
And speaking of that, I was watching Guardians, the first one, the other day, and I never noticed it before. In the background, in one of the prison scenes, Lloyd Kaufman, the owner of Troma, was in there. He was one of the prisoners.
was?
Yeah.
I didn't
And
notice
I
that.
saw him. I was like, oh, man. I never noticed
We see
before.
him every fucking con.
Yeah, he's always there.
We
at
always talk to
conventions.
him.
But
Yeah.
but I mean, look, anybody
know.
whose age starts with the number 3, think back 10 years to who you were 10 years ago, and you're like, oh yeah, I can see how 10 years ago I was a completely different person.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
think
so
that
stupid.
applies if you're in your 20s, but
But besides that, I mean, yes, that's a freaking absolute point.
Yeah.
But besides that, he worked for Troma. Like,
Yeah.
that's shock.
the
that's
company
like,
that brought you such classics, it's
exactly.
the Toxic
That-
Avenger.
that's
Yeah.
like saying. That's like
Romeo
saying.
and Juliet.
That's like judging Guar.
Surf
you know who
Nazis
Guar?
must die.
yeah, I know who Guar
You know who Guar is?
Yeah, of course.
It's like
We went to
judging
the concert.
Guar. Oh yeah.
We went to the Guar
I forgot
concert
about
together.
that. Yeah, it's about like saying that Guar are actual decapitating monsters and they hate people and they freaking like to jizz on. That's their performance. That's what they do. You know what I mean? It's all about shock value, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, but hey, good thing he's back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So that's
because
happy news.
Well, yeah, at least the Guardians trilogy will get
And
a
I've-
complete, concise.
I've expressed already on this show how much I love James Gunn as a director. Like I like majority of his movies, so I'm glad he's back. Plus, those movies are my favorite Marvel movies. It's Guardians 1 and 2 are top 5.
definitely good movies. Definitely good movies.
Continuing in movie news, so apparently The Flash is hit some more pre-production issues,
Yep.
and now it looks like Ezra Miller, the Flash himself, is actually going to be teaming up with Grant Morrison to write the movie.
I'm hyped. I love Grant.
What is
Yeah,
he
Grant,
done? What is
Grant's
he
a good
written?
writer.
Oh man, off the top of my head,
Just
a
name, like,
Preacher,
2,
right? He wrote
3.
Preacher, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
comics.
Comics,
didn't
yeah.
he?
Okay.
Didn't he write like the JLA like in the early 2000s?
Oh, he did a bunch of JLA.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the stuff that me and Louie might
Yeah.
know.
No, the Preacher. I know. that one.
Preacher, he did Preacher. He did. Dude, I can't remember anymore. That's like the only one that I can because that's like his biggest
Yeah, I'll
thing.
Google it later.
But yeah,
Oh, I
he's a
will.
really good writer. He does a lot of like gritty. He did Punisher. He did the Punisher Max
Yeah.
series.
Oh, okay.
No, wait, was that him or Garth Ennis?
Oh, Garth Ennis. My bad. I'm off. Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
It's weird. They both start with a G. So it's
Yeah.
like,
But no, he's a really good writer. He does a lot of like psychedelic type stuff.
What's
Some
up
crazy
next,
shit.
Evan?
well, rumor has it that the Batman may be set in the 90s. Wha-
Where did they get that idea from?
I-
That's
I
so cool.
wonder. Yeah, I wonder. Actually, I think I know
No.
why. It's like we want to do a Batman film where he's a detective, but like we want to avoid all modern technology that might seem like it makes his job easier.
But see, that's the weird thing about this whole '90s thing about this movie. Batman never really was like based off of a certain time, because he had his own mythos in his city.
yeah, it's been timeless.
Exactly. So like even in the '60s when he came out, they never said it was the '60s because he had all these gadgets that were like
Yeah, but
science
now,
fiction.
now that our technology
by the way,
is,
Batman's like 1939.
yeah.
Oh, I know, but I'm talking about the '60s.
But
with,
now-
with the
Oh,
movie.
you mean the TV show?
Yeah, the movie and the TV show. He had all these gizmos. He had a freaking spray that gets sharks off.
Yeah, but now our technology is like so
Shark
advanced
repellent
that
spray.
now our technology is like so advanced that they have to kind of give it a set time period because they'll just be like, oh, I didn't just use Google Maps to figure that out.
Well, I mean,
But our tech is like so advanced now.
yeah, but the
compared
whole
to-
thing is it brings you in this world
You know
that
what?
doesn't exist, or in this world this.
No, I'm
this
saying that's why
You
they
know
have
what?
to
I
say
think
it's
I think that
the
I think that's a topic for a future show, guys.
Yeah, because if they don't specify the time period, everyone's gonna assume it's modern. And
No,
then
no.
it's
I
just
mean,
like,
like we need to do a show where it's like movies that cannot exist in today's time
okay,
period because
yeah.
technology has just made it obsolete.
yeah.
Like half of horror films come into play where it's like why don't you just use your cell phone to call the cops?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scream could have been.
Where are you? Let me drop a pin on my location
Yeah.
so that you can.
But no, the whole thing about Batman is that there was never like an actual date. For
Well, that
anything.
was the cool thing about the animated series, right? Is that it's obviously the animated series is in the 90s,
the Beyond.
but the
one
way
you're
that
talking
no, I'm talking about the OG animated series,
Oh, okay.
like Batman the animated series.
Yeah.
But like the art style and the way they designed the city, it almost looks like it's the art and all that has stuck in the 40s.
Well,
Like all the buildings
okay.
are Art Deco style. The
Right.
cars are like old school, like
Yeah.
they look like 1920s
That's
vehicles.
just how they designed it after Burton. Burton designed it.
But there's a
Gotham
logic
in
to
a very
that.
a very gothic
right.
setting, and when you think of gothic, you usually think like
Gotham.
Well, yeah, obviously, but you think like columns and high.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Those
That's
statues.
what you
and-
think.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's why they had a whole bunch of that shit in all those movies. And then the animated series took from that boat or that book, and they just went with that too. And it wasn't until Batman Beyond, where I don't even know how much in the future. What year was it? Did it even like say anything about the year?
They don't mention a year.
Right,
just-
but they just say it's the future, and there's like flying. He flies, and
Well,
he
what,
has
and it's like
jetpacks and all
you
this
have
shit.
flying cars, but they still look like 1940s
Yeah,
cars.
yeah. Well, I mean, because it's Gotham. Everything about the aesthetic over there, and that's what it was. But yeah, I don't think it needs a date. I think the 90s stuff is just to reel in some nostalgia points. Like, hey, guys, remember the 90s?
Listen,
Remember CDs? Remember that?
As much as I look forward to seeing like Batman stick a zip disc into the back computer.
Oh, boy. I
You
don't
know,
fucking
I
care.
Just, yeah, it just
Yeah, I don't think they need to do that.
They don't need it.
Yeah,
They don't. They
Batman
absolutely
is-
don't need it.
I mean,
Right?
for that at that point, give me a 1930s Batman film that's like a noir crime detective.
Right.
thriller.
Do the Gaslight. They should do a Gaslight movie.
Well, that goes back even further.
Yeah.
No,
And that's even fucking cooler, I
Yeah.
think. Anyway.
Yeah, and anyway, and then I think finishing up movie news. So we now have an antagonist for the Black Widow movie.
Oh.
Wait, hold on. Let's reel back a little. There's going to be a Black Widow movie.
Oh, fine.
Hey,
That's
we
true.
were
Well-
talking about that last
Well,
show.
they've been talking about a Black Widow movie for a couple of years now.
Right, but now it's official.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's happening.
Well, I think it's beneficial. They just now are releasing. I
don't think so.
No,
I think they were waiting for the results for Captain
no, you
Marvel
know,
to
you
see
know what I
if
think it is. I think they purposefully were having like a media blackout to not stomp all over the Captain Marvel stuff.
They should have just made a Black Widow movie.
Yeah.
You see, Erica, they do have the money to make it. I told you.
But yeah, it looks like so all they're saying is that she's a female spy on the same level as Natasha and is kind of like a rival, which makes me believe Yelena Belova, who is
I don't know. I don't know anything
So-
about the comics for Black
so
Widow.
she is. They sometimes they call her Black Widow 2,
Mm-hmm.
and she is distinguished from her in that instead of being a redhead, she's got short blonde hair.
Okay.
But she's another Russian spy that came out of the same, like
The
Russian
program.
spy, the same program that created the Black Widow that we know.
So it's not Scarlett Johansson?
It is. The
Well,
bad
Scar-
guy
The
is
bad
gonna be
guy.
the-
is
The bad guy, yeah.
Natasha.
Oh, okay, my bad.
And is this a prequel or is it a sequel?
I don't know.
Or not a sequel, but
that we have
present
no
time.
we have no further information.
Oh man, it would be so cool if it was a prequel when she was a bad guy and like have it
Oh,
flipped.
yeah.
Well,
where
yeah,
you're-
like
you know.
that's the whole thing. If you're going back and you're making movies that are prequels to the stuff that we know, let's make a movie that takes place in between, right?
Oh my god, that would be so sick. I know I never read the comics, but I read synopsis of how badass Black Widow is, and she is like the ultimate badass, just killing all kinds of people. So sick.
Yeah.
And that's it for movies, right?
That's
Wait,
pretty
whoa.
much it for movies.
What
Why, you got-
about
you got
Toy
some-
Story 4?
Oh, that's right, Toy Story 4.
Oh yeah, new trailer.
Yeah.
New trailer for Toy Story 4. I don't
Saw
care
that.
about it.
Oh, I
you
told
didn't see Bo Peep doing all them cool moves?
Yeah,
swinging
no,
her
no, but that's not
thing?
going to sell
I,
me to
I
go watch a
told-
movie.
I told you guys as soon as I saw the way that she was dressed in
Yeah,
that
you
in that
called it.
image, I was like, warrior monk.
That motherfucker's Donnie from
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles,
Yeah.
100%.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
Um,
What else did they show
I
in the
mean,
trailer, though?
the trailer. Okay, so the trailer gives a little bit more of the story, right? We get Forky,
Yeah, Forky.
Oh, yeah.
who is a
That's
arts
so
and crafts
strange.
project that comes to life because.
But you could relate to that because I used to have toys that were just.
No, you
Objects.
can relate to that. I'm saying the
Well, what I
his
like is the freak out.
existence.
The fact that he's
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
he doesn't know
I'm
what
not
he is.
supposed to be a toy. I'm supposed to be made for like soups and salads and
But then that,
baby
that
chili.
And
but then
they
that
throw it away.
but then that goes into the lore. Does everything become alive
If it's a toy.
if
if you
it's
turn it into a toy.
yeah?
So if you put googly
So
eyes
if
on anything
It's
and
a
play
toy.
with it,
If you
it
play
comes
with a
to life.
pencil, it comes to life.
Yeah.
There you go,
Now
John.
we're talking
Put
about some
googly eyes
magic.
on it.
I think there needs to be at least a book written just describing the
mythos.
mythos. And mythos that
We're
goes
now
behind Toy
expanding this
Story.
world, right?
Guys, let's get into this, all right?
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't just have googly eyes. He also has like
arms and feet.
like wire hands.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, what makes a toy? How far does it have to go to be considered a toy?
Bro,
to be
when
brought
I
to
was
life?
a kid, I made toys out of
Yeah.
the little twist tie things.
Yeah.
I made I saw how you put together a G.I. Joe, and I
Mhm.
made a toy out of I just wrapped one, like I put like a little piece of paper. I wrapped the zip tie around it, so it was like a torso, and then had a rubber band that attached to another torso on the bottom, and I put legs on it. I had an action figure that was made out of
It had
little
like two
Yeah,
torsos.
and that would have come to
well,
life.
torso and the pelvis,
that
then-
would have come to life.
and it would have came to life.
Yeah.
and it would just be confused because I'm just wire.
Yo, did any of you? Oh, what's up,
Wait,
guys?
what did you name it?
I didn't name it anything. I called them. I was into Scud. Do you guys remember Scud?
You're a failure.
Hold on, bro.
Wait, this rings a bell. Scud.
Yeah, the assassin robot.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Scud.
The vending machine.
The vending
robot.
machine robot.
Yeah.
So I was really into that toy, that comic
Story?
book and
Yeah.
video game at the time. That was on Sega Saturn, which you still gotta hook me up with that motherfucker. Anyway,
Yeah.
and then so yeah, I was obsessed with it. So I designed it kind of to look like that, and I just called it A2.
A2.
Yeah,
Where does that name come from?
it was just a prototype name
Oh,
for
just like a
robots.
robot
A1, A2, A3. I just called it
Gotcha.
A2.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get creative with it.
Wait, hold on, guys. Did you guys ever think for a second when you were little that your toys may be actually alive?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, me too.
I think
did.
every one of us did.
Right?
There was a bunch of movies
And-
at the time that was
like,
doing it.
and that predates the movies that I.
But I'm saying the Toy
'Cause
Story.
by the time-
you were
by the
thinking
time-
that before Toy Story.
No,
By the time
after.
Toy
Yeah,
Story.
I'm
I
so-
was-
yeah.
After, because it was Toy Story, Small Soldiers.
Right.
It was all these movies about toys coming to life. I'm like, yo, hold up.
This could be real.
These motherfuckers might be actually doing
remember I
adventures
got-
while I'm sleeping. You know what I'm saying?
I remember I was like, I got my Woody doll, and I was like, "Are you alive?" And I threw him into my closet, and then his hand got caught on like one of the shelves in my closet, and it looked like he was hanging by like hanging like that, like
yeah.
dangling. And I was like, "Ugh, it looks like for a second I thought he had grabbed.
And then you're like, I fucking knew it.
I know it. You're alive. Talk to
Physics.
me.
Physics don't matter.
That Small Soldiers movie
Yeah.
where the army
Yeah,
toys
yeah.
come to life.
Yeah.
I had the general, whatever he was.
Major
me
Chip
too.
Hazard.
And that yes, that guy.
the one
And-
by the one voiced by Tommy Lee Jones.
Yes.
Yes.
And that motherfucker would talk in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
and he's in my closet. Like I wonder if they made him like that on purpose.
I'm pretty sure those.
You know what I mean?
maybe.
Yo, you
Or
know,
maybe it was
you know
just,
what toy
like,
was friggin' annoying?
Well, I
Coincidentally
mean-
defunct or
I
whatever.
mean, all those
Furbies.
toys that had like voice activation would always like randomly go off. Like there's a Yoda on my shelf here that's like one of those like Magic 8-Ball Yodas, and I swear to God, every once in a while I'll just hear him like laugh or something.
Yeah, so I kind of said it before already, but the Furbies were like, I would have to put that thing underneath my bed because
Yeah,
it would
those-
just randomly.
Yo,
And I'm like,
no
what
lie.
the heck?
No fucking lie. There was a Furby. I think it was my sister's Furby. I almost destroyed that thing because it wouldn't shut the fuck up. She would like be outside or something, and I would just hear it in her room, and I was like, I'm gonna destroy it. Sorry, Natalia, if you're hearing it now, I'm probably the one who broke it.
That's what happened to your Furby.
Yeah. Just fucking broke
Yeah,
that
man,
thing.
it was creepy.
so annoying. Oh my god. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that those Toy Stories were the soldier toys were designed that way just to piss you off
Do
too.
you guys remember the Darth Vader bank?
No, I didn't. I never had.
I had a
It-
Buzz Lightyear.
It
Bank.
was a coin bank, and like you drop a coin in it, and like it would light up, and like the arms would start moving, the lightsaber would turn on, and it was
Jesus.
like, feel the force, and it would play like the Imperial March. But the thing is, like, it would last for like 5 minutes. Like that thing lasted, I think, like a week in this house, and then it was like, pull the batteries out of that thing and throw it away.
Yeah. It's just possessed. No, but no, yeah. I used to think that my toys came
Yeah.
to life also.
Hey, you see, that's where I lament the fact that like you guys are younger than me, so you guys probably were still at that age when those movies came out. I was already like 15 by that time. So it was like,
Really? I was a little kid.
yeah,
Yeah,
Toy,
me
Toy
too.
Story was 95. Actually, it was 14, but still, it was like,
No, I was
it's like at that point, like I'm old enough to like, yeah, this is not.
Oh, I was 10.
I was 11.
Nice.
Yeah, I was already starting to become the cynical adult that I am today. The metamorphosis had begun.
So what else is on the list of news, bro?
Hey, we're getting a Diablo TV series.
That's right, Diablo. There's some deep lore for that fucking shit. Oh my god.
I never played that game, but I had a high school teacher who I remember told us he paid $50 for a sword, and he was all proud of it. And I was like, that can't be good. That's not right.
I'm fucking laughing because Chris could testify. Chris, if you're listening, we used to farm not me because I never played it, but I had a best friend who would play that shit regularly, like obsessively, and they would farm these items and then do like a cheat. Not a cheat. It's like they duplicate a freaking really rare item, and they'll put them on eBay for like $50 a pop, and they would sell it.
That's how the guy bought it.
Yeah. So like this guy would just duplicate one item. I think it was the ring of Jordan or something like that. I don't remember, but they would just dupe it a bunch of times and then just sell it on eBay and make money like that.
Wow.
It was crazy, man.
Well, all I know is that I know a ton of people that are always talking about like, oh, Diablo is one of the greatest games ever. And all
I
that
played
stuff.
Diablo 1. Diablo 1 was sick.
I never played any. By that time, I had already kind of stopped playing computer games. It was just console games.
No, I was all over that computer, baby. That shit was good. But yeah, that would be a really good series. My goodness.
But what do you want to? So what do we talk about? Do we want to talk about the Google announcement, or do we want to talk about the $72 billion gorilla in the room?
Whoa, 72. I want to hear what is that about?
That would be the Disney Fox deal.
Oh, okay. Hold on. That's a long ass discussion. Let's just go over this new Google system.
All right. So Google Stadia.
Yeah. So the Google Stadia isn't actually a console. It's kind of.
It's like a streaming service.
It's more of a streaming service than it is a console. I think they did show a tower, which would make it a console, but they are saying that they're getting like first party development for like exclusive games for them, so that would qualify them as a console. But at this moment right now, it's a service where you can play it on any platform you have. So
you can play it on any device that has Chrome.
Yep.
And if you have a Chromecast, you can play it on your TV.
Exactly. So you can play it on literally anything you have. So it doesn't matter. That's pretty much all the information. No, they gave us 10 teraflops, which is impressive given what we have at this moment, but that's not considering that this is the end of a generation. Next year, we're probably looking at a PS5. And PS5 is probably going to have more than 10. So it's impressive at this very moment. But, in the future.
Well, I do like that the Stadia controller will connect to Wi-Fi.
Right.
So that it connects basically to the same server that you're playing.
Yep.
So that it minimizes the lag time between controller input and what happens on the game.
See, but that's my biggest issue with that. Because how fast of an internet do you need to actually stream these games? Because they did not specify.
No,
they didn't say it. They also didn't say how much this thing would cost. So you don't know how much.
I'm assuming it's going to be a monthly.
No, well, yeah, but they didn't tell you how much. They also didn't tell you if you pay for the game and then you just stream it and it's your game, or if you just pay a fee and you play whatever game you want. They didn't say any of that.
Yeah, definitely there's more news than
there was just hype, but that's the problem, dude. It's coming out, what they said, late 2019, so it's coming out this year, and we have no idea what it is.
I mean, I think the thing that makes the most sense would be that it's a monthly subscription service and you play whatever game.
Yes, that would be that would be the idea. But then that goes back to saying, is that really for everybody? Because not everybody has really good internet.
Well, no, let's be honest. When it comes to like online gaming, there are huge communities of people like modders and stuff like that like to play around with the actual software and do stuff.
Exactly.
You can't do that if you're just streaming the game off of a server.
So that begs the question: is this actually the future of gaming? I don't really think so. Because
maybe for people like me,
for the casuals. Yes,
yeah.
I agree. I think that's what it would be more for. Because the hardcore gamers are not going to be relying on a Wi-Fi or for accurate gameplay. They're going to want a machine that's dedicated to doing whatever they're playing. But I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting. I've never seen anything like this before. I know that Xbox was trying to go this direction with what they're, them putting their platform on Nintendo Switch, which we'll get to the Direct in a second. But they're putting their Xbox Live on Switch, and there's also that talk about maybe they're going to have Game Pass on Switch. That's what they were trying to do. I guess Google beat them to the punch. But is it going to be better than the Xbox? I don't know, because it's coming out 2019. The next Xbox platform, or when this thing rolls out, is going to be after 2019. So they have plenty of time to buff it up so that it's better than the Google thing.
I think the question with Xbox is, are they going to bend to the will of the retailers again, like they did with the Xbox One, where originally it was gonna be like, yeah, you just download the games and install them on your Xbox, and then GameStop was like, no, you can't, and they're like, okay, we'll put a CD drive so you can buy the games.
It was more. Well, the Xbox problem wasn't even that. The Xbox problem is that they were marketing it for the sports fanatic and the people who want to watch their sports and have everything integrated with their Xbox. That's not the market that wants to buy an Xbox. The market that wants to buy an Xbox are gamers. Gamers want to play their games, and then a lot of gamers like myself like to actually collect these games. I like to actually own them. The streaming service is cool just to dick around with it. I want to try this game out, play it, maybe even beat it, but I want it for my collection, so I would still buy it and own it. But, games that you don't really care, it's a throwaway game, you play it, you have some fun, whatever. That's a good service.
But the question is, does Microsoft view the Xbox as gaming, or does Microsoft say, no, the Xbox is for casuals and our gamers will play on PCs?
Well, see, that's the thing. They're still going to make consoles, and they're still going to make highly powerful consoles. They're not going to stop doing that. They're just expanding, which I think is genius. They're doing everything now. They're gonna release their consoles for the people who want to play on the consoles. You could play your games on Xbox or Windows 10. You could play at this point, it looks like every game on Xbox, Windows 10, on any PC. So they're and now on the Switch, which
so the whole library.
I think so. Well, they haven't specified if it's the whole library, but the way they're moving, it looks like that's what they're going for. So that it's no longer an exclusive to the console, but rather an exclusive to their platform, to the Windows platform. So like you could actually play, if they have the Game Pass on your Switch, you could play these Xbox games on your Switch because it's still through the Windows platform. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like it's kind of interesting. But my question is for you guys, because you guys are more casual gamers than me. Do you guys think this is a good thing? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I got to wait till I find out more. I mean, look, if we're being 100% honest, 90% of the time my Xbox is a Netflix machine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it is.
How about you?
And now that I have a smart TV, I don't even think in the future.
You don't even need it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I use my Xbox very rarely at these days. I have a few downloaded games.
Right, but no, I'm not talking about the Xbox. I'm talking about the Google.
Okay. I mean, if they have like the whole library of games, that could be cool, but it depends how much they're going to charge per month. I mean, I don't.
All right, okay, let me try to actually hone in on what I'm trying to say.
Well,
here.
The reason I bring it up is because of the fact that, like I said, 90% of the time I'm only using my console to watch movies.
Right.
At which point it's like,
but is that a fact?
If it's like a $20 a month service, I'm like, eh.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to hone in on.
Yeah.
Since I'm not talking about the Xbox, I'm talking about the Google. Is this service something that you guys might be interested in? Because let's say it's like $20 a month. You pay $20 a month, and you get all these games. You get to play whatever game you want. You can play it on your phone. You can play it on your TV. You can play it on your laptop. You can play it wherever you want. You just have to log on to your Google.
It's like Netflix for games.
Yes, it's literally that. You think that's worth it? Like, as a casual gamer, you're like, oh, I want to see what this Assassin's Creed's about.
I think it will also come down to what's available on the platform.
Yeah, that's also true.
Because
they haven't specified.
Because if it's only like in-house games that are available.
No. They showed Doom. They showed.
Right.
Actually, no. Here's the thing: if you have access to all these games, it's like when I go to watch a Netflix movie. Okay, I'll put it like this: back in the day, when it was time to go, it was the weekend. You're gonna go to Blockbuster and rent a movie. You pick your movie that you're going to rent for the weekend, and that's the movie you got or the video game you got. Yep. And you're going to play it. Even if you don't like it that much, you're going to shove through it, and it may become a great game or it may end up being a great movie. But now with like Netflix, I'll put on a movie I've never seen. I watch like 3 minutes, and then I just go back and watch like The Office again. Like I just don't give it the time that it might deserve because I've got like all this access to all these things. It's like almost too much. Yep. And it might be like that for video games.
I
like,
agree with you.
You know, video games sometimes take a while till they get good, especially nowadays. And if they have like all these games that you could be playing, you might not give it the time it needs to really fully enjoy it.
So you don't think this is a service for you?
Not for me. Only for that reason. Like, I don't know.
How about you?
I don't play games that much these days, but yeah.
Even if the service ends up flopping. There's always anytime something new like this comes around, there's always something that happens, whether it succeeds or not, that does change the industry in some way, form, or shape.
I agree. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It always does. Yeah.
So,
Well,
I think so. That in that sense, I do think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, the number one thing is that whole like we run the games on our servers so that all you have
That's
to do
not-
is stream it and not have to install it.
Right. That's not new though.
No, yeah.
They've done this a couple years
Steam,
back. It just didn't work very
d-
well.
Doesn't Steambox kind of do that? But you have to have your own. You're running it on your own computer.
No. You. Well, I don't know if Steambox does it, but as far as I know, you install it to your computer and then you play it off your computer.
Right,
It's not directly streamed.
No,
they
right,
did this a couple years back, but there was a lot of hiccups. The games weren't running perfectly smooth. It
Well,
was like, because it's
what we need
it's
is-
Wi-Fi.
What we need maybe is instead of Google, coming up with this gaming service, is Google expanding fiber into more cities.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a whole other thing. But anyway,
Yeah.
okay, so that's the one
agree.
aspect of it. The other aspect is you could also transfer your games to multiple things. So let's say you're playing on your laptop. Oh, I got to go to the grocery store. You could just transfer it to your phone and continue playing.
You gotta go take a dump.
You got to go take a
'Cause-
dump. Boom, you fucking do
Yeah.
that
Because of all the fiber.
because of all the fiber.
All the fiber.
And then the
Thank
other,
you, Google.
That's exactly what my sister needs is for her son to be like, I'm playing it on the TV, and now I'm gonna transfer it to my phone so I
Yeah.
can keep on playing in the car.
well, I mean, it's the option. You still have the option. And the other thing they're doing is you get they're making it easier for developers to create things. They have like a little system where you get to pick an art style and it just automatically puts it into your game. You know what I mean? Like you could get a Van Gogh and it just transfers that style into your game, so you don't have to aesthetically create it. It just kind of mimics it. So that's kind of cool too. There's a bunch of interesting things about it. Obviously because Google and YouTube are a thing. They're integrating it they're designing it so that it's very integrated with the gaming atmosphere.
I saw that part where like if a YouTube streamer is playing a game, it gives you the option to like
Join 'em.
hop into the queue.
Yep. Or even pick up where he's playing. You could like download his file and just play his file. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a bunch of interesting shit. Is it for me? 0%. Absolutely not. I would never fucking pay for that. But I think it's cool to see that's where things are rolling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you said, I hope that it ends up just being an option and
Yeah.
not it doesn't take
I,
over.
that's my fear,
Well,
man.
let
Honestly,
me-
that's my biggest
yeah.
fear.
Let me ask you this: like when you're playing a game like Overwatch,
Mm-hmm.
where it's a multiplayer game, you're running it off of a server.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how much of a difference is there between that and like this?
Well, because what you're playing on the server is what the server is doing is it's bringing the information of your movement and your actions into the other person's screen. So the other people are getting your information just like you're getting theirs. You're not getting the information of the textures, the geometry,
Okay.
all of that
All
stuff
right.
would have to be sent also. So that's more data that it has to calculate. You know what I mean? So it's a whole game that's being showed or streamed onto your platform and whatever is happening on the game. So it's very heavy. So whatever. More importantly, though, Nintendo Direct. That actually was super hype because confirmed Cuphead is coming to the Switch, which is a big deal for me because I
Oh.
love Cuphead. Cuphead is a fucking phenomenal.
Another reason for me to get a Switch, but I still don't have it.
You should get one.
My brother did ask me if I wanted to go halvesies on a Switch. I think I'm gonna have to do it.
Dude, the Switch
I don't
is
think
so.
I don't think
Halvesies,
that's
bro.
a console you go halves on, man.
Well, I mean,
that's
if
like-
you only play at home, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. But I feel like because it's a portable, like you're gonna come home and you're like, yeah, I want to play the Switch, and your brother's like, yeah, I took the Switch with me.
Yeah, that's fucked up. But anyway,
You got to set some ground rules like we did when we talked about going halvesies on that simulator
That's true. That's true.
on Facebook.
so Cuphead is a Microsoft property, which is a big deal because now it's going on the Switch, and Microsoft is working with Nintendo to put their games on their platform, which is
Whoa.
fucking dope.
This is
'cause-
as exciting as when Marvel and DC first did some crossovers.
so yeah, so that's I don't know for me.
Soon
that's
we'll
really
be
hype.
into the amalgam age of gaming.
And then the other thing from the Direct, because there was a bunch of stuff in there that is kind of interesting. There's a game called
kind of.
There's a game called Rad from Double Fine. Double Fine is one of my favorite developers.
Rad is your favorite word.
Yeah, I was
It
gonna
is.
say.
It is.
Rad is one of my favorite movies.
Well, that's a deep cut. Nobody knows that movie. And then the last thing was
But those that do,
the
they
the
know.
Necro Dancer game is making or I don't know if it's a sequel, I don't know if it's a spin-off, I don't know what it is, but they have a game with Link and Zelda, and I'm hyped because I want to play as Zelda and with their little magic shit.
there you go.
The end, bro. I fucking love that kind of shit.
Alright,
man. Video games
alright.
are my life.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about
Coolsies.
the $73 billion gorilla.
Oh, boy, oh boy.
So as of today, it has been finalized.
Today?
Yeah, today's the
Okay.
20th.
Oh, gotcha.
It's been finalized, and Disney and Fox, 21st Century Fox, are now one.
Whoa.
And I mean, obviously, the big thing is that they've been talking about forever is like the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, and how they're going to be coming back to Marvel. But I thought, let's talk about some of the other stuff that would be nice to see, like them maybe bring back or maybe do something with.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. You want me to start us off?
Yeah,
start
go
us-
for it.
Unless you want, I could fucking just go on for days
first of all,
about X-Men.
let me give you a quick rundown of stuff that's already in existence that is now moving over to Disney officially.
Shoot.
This was kind of up in the air, but according to an image on one of Disney's corporate websites, The Simpsons are now a Disney property.
That's so weird. This is okay. Hold on. I'm
yeah.
gonna just cut you off real quick. This is super weird to me. Have you guys actually acknowledged what is actually happening? Disney owns so much shit right now. They own
Yeah, but it could
almost
have been worse.
everything.
It could have been worse.
It's
Fox
scary,
was
dude.
21st Century Fox was almost bought by Comcast.
What's so bad about that? They
Yes.
own
Comcast
Universal.
is a shitty company. That's what sucks about that.
Well, so is Disney.
And Comcast wouldn't have known what the fuck to do with all of that. At least Disney's like in the same business.
But Comcast owns Universal, and they gave Universal money to make the Simpsons world and all that stuff that's happening at Universal
Yeah,
Studios.
But
I don't know. I don't.
I'm talking about like movie and TV wise.
I
It's
know,
not like
but I'm-
Universal's been killing it at the box office lately.
Was there ever like talks of the government shutting that down because of
I heard about
Monopoly?
I heard
yeah,
about that.
I heard about that.
I'm surprised that
Um,
didn't really
well,
happen.
I
I know,
Because
man. They
it's so
own
much.
so much shit.
Well, I think the thing is, this now goes from there being 6 major studios to 5. So technically, because there's still 4 other major studios out there, it doesn't really like violate
I
that.
don't know, man.
And then also, the Fox, the channel, stays with Fox, as well as Fox News. But Disney will be getting FX, and they will be getting the local Fox affiliates for sports. So like FS1, I think, is the our local one here.
Fox Sports Florida.
Yeah, so that'll be now basically a division of ESPN.
I wonder when that starts taking place. I should apply.
Well, no, don't look for there to be new jobs created. Look for there to be jobs eliminated, because
that.
there are probably already people at ESPN that do those jobs. Probably none of the local jobs. Like all the local jobs they'll probably keep their jobs, but like the guys that are like higher up in the company that like maybe reported to Fox, like there might be somebody at ESPN who already does that, and
I don't know. I don't like anything about this. This is scary to me, man.
The other big thing with that also is ABC now. Disney goes from owning 30% in Hulu to 60%,
I like that though. I do like that,
and
and I like that simply because these Marvel movies, instead of them making them kid friendly, they could just put it on there.
Well, look for the Marvel movies to stay on the Disney Plus.
Oh
streaming
no,
service.
sorry, not Marvel movies. Like these shows that are more
Yeah.
gritty,
Well, I mean, let's
or like Deadpool, which is another thing.
Yeah.
Well, no, also not to mention that like just because now it's owned by Disney doesn't mean it's not going to be broadcasting on.
You
Fox.
know what I would love to see? Just sorry to cut you off because you brought up Deadpool. The next Deadpool movie would be awesome if it starts off with the Disney logo and then Deadpool walks in. He's like, "Oh, what? You got to be kidding me!" Or
That would
something
actually be
that
pretty
would be
good.
cool.
something like
Yeah,
that.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty
look,
sure they thought of that.
Don't put it
already.
past them.
Yeah, it might happen.
And they did state that they will be keeping the Deadpool franchise as is.
Still, I don't have faith in that, bro.
And they're keeping the Fox name. They're not your Fox movies will not suddenly become Disney movies. They will still be Fox movies
for now, because remember Touchstone?
Yeah, but keeping the fact that Disney doesn't like to release anything above a PG on Disney.
That's true, but they still had Touchstone, and they brought everything from Touchstone, or majority from Touchstone, to Disney. Nightmare Before Christmas was not a Disney movie. Now it's officially a Disney movie.
Yeah, but that fits into the Disney family-friendly
Doesn't really
world. Yeah, it does.
Though. Yeah, good. Kinda, not really.
How
But,
is it not?
It's like darker in tone.
Oh, but
But
Still a kids'
the other franchises that are currently still on that are affected, other than The Simpsons, The Avatar franchise is now officially a Disney property.
Oh boy.
So, but those sequels were already in production.
No,
so
I know.
Like from Nickelodeon
No,
Avatar?
no,
No.
Avatar.
Oh,
the
James Cameron.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
I mean, I saw it coming because of the park,
Yeah.
Animal Kingdom. They have like the whole
Avatar Land.
world. I saw that coming.
Also, Family Guy and the other Sunday night cartoon shows are now all under the Disney umbrella.
Wait. More
Family
importantly-
Guy, American Dad, Bob's Burgers.
No. Oh, Bob's Burgers. No, I love that show. Wait, is Always Sunny in Philadelphia under Disney?
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
No.
Now belongs to Disney.
Everything you love belongs to
Fucking-
Mickey Mouse.
Jesus, that Disney dick.
But I mean, again, it'll probably stay on FX. It won't be. They won't be marketing it as a Disney property because it's not their thing.
Yeah.
So since you like all those shows, I guess you like Disney now, huh?
I guess I do, right?
You can't say you hate Disney.
Disney
anymore.
is the EA of fucking. They just swallow all the good shit.
Absorb.
They just absorb shit.
The other thing I saw on the banner from the Disney corporate website is they had Donald Glover was on there, so that means they now own Atlanta also.
Oh boy.
Damn,
So-
first Orlando, now Atlanta.
Yeah. So yeah, man, all the FX shows and all of that are now belong to Disney.
Oh boy.
But again, that's the stuff that's on now. Guys, maybe they'll bring some stuff back.
Like what? Tell me, Ubin.
Well, my dream is Firefly.
Oh yeah. Okay, sure, that's happening.
Like
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, but I can dream, can't
Yeah,
I?
you can, but it ain't happening. I'm just
Why you
hitting you
got-
with reality.
Why you gotta squash my dreams,
Boy,
Pedro?
It's just not
dream.
gonna happen. That's been in talks for like decades now, bro. People are just wanting that so bad. Serenity was the fucking nail in the coffin. That shit did not sell well enough, and then it was done from there.
I don't know, man.
Evan's got a thing for Nathan Fillion, though, bro.
Me
Hell
too.
yeah.
Me too.
Who doesn't, man? Who doesn't?
Fucking love that dude.
him and Alan Tudyk. Although Serenity kind of.
Can we talk about how I forget the character's name, but he was like the old black guy in Serenity
Yeah. the
that
priest.
he
Book?
plays Bill Cosby's dad in the Cosby Show,
Does he?
but he still looked exactly the same. Isn't that the same guy?
No, I don't.
No.
No, man.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
Wait, yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
I
it was.
fucked up. Maybe I
Hang
fucked up.
It definitely wasn't. I
Let
was just
me-
agreeing with you.
Let me Google that for you.
Yeah, Google that real quick.
You
guys-
probably don't have to. I probably just fucked up.
You
Don't worry
guys
about
talk
it.
amongst yourselves.
But
I'll
Serenity,
Google it. I'll Google it.
Serenity, I don't think. I think that was the final say on whether they're going to bring that back, and it didn't sell. I remember going to watch that. I went to go watch that movie with a couple of friends of mine, and we left, and I had to pretend that it was great because they were so pissed at me for suggesting that movie. I'm like, what are you talking about? That movie was dope. And in my head, I'm like, God, why did it suck so bad? It was
that
so
movie
bad.
didn't suck. Screw you.
I didn't like it. It was boring up until the end. Come on, Evan. You have to admit.
Nah, man.
The ending was dope as hell, but the
I-
rest of the movie?
I am a
Nope.
brown coat till I die,
Oh,
motherfucker.
that's fine, but it still wasn't that good. That fight scene with the what's her name? The girl at the end? That was fucking really awesome. But besides that,
With River.
with River, that's her name.
Mm.
It was boring. It was
Oh,
just
she's
a lot
in the movie. River. What's her last name? From Doctor Who, right?
No. The character's name is River Tam.
Oh.
The actress is. I'm blanking on her name.
I can't remember any of
But
them.
Serenity is a
I know
Doctor
she's
Who.
a show killer.
No,
'cause-
Serenity's not a Doctor Who. Serenity is the movie for Firefly.
But I thought Firefly was Doctor Who.
No.
No, man.
Captain Jack blah blah blah, or is that a different show?
I think you're thinking of
Do
the
you know
wrong
what
You're
I'm
thinking of Torchwood.
I am.
You're thinking. Well, the Doctor Who Captain Jack is from Doctor Who, and then he
Yeah.
moved into Torchwood.
Oh,
Yeah, that's not Firefly.
why did I think
Firefly
was a Doctor Who
Firefly was kind of like a Star Wars if Star Wars was
No,
a
spin-off? I know what it looks like. It's got all the ships and a lot
Oh,
of
it has
red.
one ship. And then there's Serenity, right? That's the name of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
They only had one ship, and it was pretty much like a fucking TV show if it was only about Han Solo doing his Han Solo shit. It was really cool. I liked the show a lot, but it had how many seasons? One season, and then they canceled it because they're assholes.
13 episodes.
Exactly.
Oh.
And there's like this.
By the way, the character River Phoenix, the actress is Summer Glau, who just any show she shows up on usually gets canceled like within a year.
It's so sad. But yeah,
Gus is ready.
Yeah, fucked up.
we kind of.
I mean, I could see the confusion, you know.
but
But they do look alike. I fucking IMDb the two guys. They kind of look alike.
okay. Well, I don't even remember. I just remember what the priest guy looks like. The guy from
Shepard.
Firefly.
Actually, if I recall, wasn't he Claire's father? Like, wasn't he Bill Cosby's father-in-law?
Oh, I don't know.
I know who you're talking about. It's another old man with white hair.
Yeah.
So moving on. What else what else are you hyped up to see from Fox?
I mean, really, like I said, Firefly is number 1 on my wish list. I wouldn't mind maybe seeing, an X-Files reboot.
Mm-hmm.
God, I think these movies. I mean, I think these shows ran their course. They're good. Leave them alone.
And didn't the X-Files just recently come back for like a few
They
episodes?
came back for like 7 episodes a
Yeah.
couple of years ago, and then it was kind of like, I don't know, like they said they were gonna bring it back again, and
Like
then
I said, they ran their course. Let them die. You know what I mean? They did what they needed to do. We don't need to keep beating a dead horse. As far as Fox, that were freaking canceled. I don't know. I don't think I want anything that was, because these shows, majority of them were canceled for a fucking reason. But I can't really think of any show in particular that they.
Well, let me give you a quick list of the major players in the Fox universe that are.
Unless we're talking about movies, because I could go on about these comic movies. Go on.
So the major players that are up in the air, the Alien and Predator franchises.
Yeah, I know. It's so sad.
Uh,
Ripley, my poor Ripley.
Home Alone.
Oh, Louis.
There we go. All right.
Macaulay Culkin is
Yeah.
like a Disney
The
prince.
Die Hard franchise.
Oh my God, that's true.
24.
No, okay,
Whatever.
I don't care.
And along with Firefly is also Buffy and Angel.
Wait, so that means Xena?
No, Xena was a small studio that.
Weren't they on Fox?
No, they were on like on
CW?
30. Yes.
Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
Oh, they're Warner Brothers. That's
Yeah.
what it is. Okay, never mind. My bad.
and not even they were like distributed by them, but they were like by a production company in New Zealand or something.
Was it really? Damn.
Yeah.
Well,
But then
Thank
the other thing is they acquire Blue Sky Animation Studios,
oh.
which
What?
which brought you such hits as Ice Age and Rio.
Then they also bring us these
Dr. Seuss
Seuss
movies.
movies.
They also brought the Dr. Seuss
Horton,
movies. Yeah.
Here's a Who.
Yeah, I love those movies. I
Mm.
love them so much.
Yeah.
See, okay, this is my problem with Disney owning all of this shit, because all of these different companies, they have a I want to call it a personality, right? Like these Dr. Seuss movies were so much different from Disney movies in structure. You know what I mean? They came up with their own little tech. They came up with a whole bunch of shit to make them unique. And if everything's under the same house, they're just going to get the same tech that the other people have been working on and just bring it in. You know what I mean? No one's creating anything.
You think so?
That's my fear.
Well-
That's why I don't like this stuff.
Well, I mean, I take comfort in that they might approach this the same way they approach Pixar, the same way they approach Marvel Studios.
But Pixar isn't necessarily theirs. They're
I
a
don't think
partnership.
they're gonna do that.
No,
though.
The Pixar belongs to them. They
Now,
yeah.
officially,
Yeah.
they
for the
belong?
last few years, yeah.
Is it? Okay.
But they have a bit of a hands-off when it comes to the creative, and really all the only thing Disney really wants to capitalize on with those studios is the marketing and the merchandising.
Right.
As far as like the creative, they kind of let those companies do what they're gonna
I
do.
don't think so, man.
So maybe
No.
they'll do that with Blue. Like I know Blue Sky was working on an Ice
did-
Age TV series.
I don't think so, because if you look at the early if you look at the early movies from Pixar, they were very different from the movies now. The movies now are like cut and paste. Like they have not cut and paste in the sense that they're the same movie, but they go through the same beats. You know what I'm saying? Like the movie. With exception for Incredibles, because I think Incredibles really took a lot from the first Incredibles. Like it was very similar, but all their other like movies, like Up, Wall-E, I think it was called.
Ratatouille?
Wall-E. Ratatouille was still kind of unique, but like those movies after I think Up, or when they started getting like really like super emotional and less fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're trying to they're trying to get that Oscar, and I get that that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make animated movies deep. You know
And you
what
think
I mean?
that was Disney's fault?
I don't know if it's Disney's fault, but it's around the same time where they were taking over.
Well,
So I don't know. Maybe
I-
it's not. Maybe
I
it's just the
think-
direction
Yeah.
that they were going with.
I think with Pixar, we probably might start to see a turnaround within
I
the
hope
next
so.
year or so. Because keep in mind that up until this year, John Lasseter was the guy running Pixar and everything that they did.
Yeah.
With John Lasseter stepping down for the reasons that he stepped down, and new leadership coming in to take over, we might start seeing maybe a change.
Yeah, I hope so.
But I know a lot of people have problems with formula,
Mm-hmm.
but formulas work. That's why they become formulas.
Yeah, but but I get that they work financially. I completely understand it. It's safe. I get it. But I like to see the difference. Like, I wouldn't care about the Dr. Seuss movies that Blue Sky put out if they were just like a Disney movie. I wouldn't care about them. These movies are great to me because, one, they broke. There were I think it was Horton Hears a Who was the first one, the first movie. Probably not the first, but it was the first noticeable movie where in computer animation, the style of like animating an arm, before that, it was very static. They had a line, a little bit of deformation. It was always kind of like linear.
Like stiff, like an action figure.
Like an action figure, correct. And then like literally when you're animating, they're like toys. You pose them, you take a picture, you pose them like that. So with Horton Hears a Who, if you watch that movie, all of the animations are very fluid. When they move their arm, it's almost like a spaghetti.
Elasticy.
Yeah, they're very elasticy, and that goes back to traditional animation. Traditional animation,
I remember that from like the DreamWorks movies.
no, this movie.
Like,
if they did do it,
Like, didn't DreamWorks do the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs movies?
yeah, but that was after.
Was that after?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but they were the first. I don't know if they were the first. I don't want to say they're the first, but they're the first one that I noticed. Like when I saw them, like, holy shit. These guys are like actually squashing and stretching, because before that, the squash and stretch was very like subtle. But now this one, they're like, fuck it, this is 2D all over again, and they just started. You know what I mean?
But a lot of that could also have to do with just technology advancing.
It could, but it's also an identity. They did an identity. This is how they animated,
Yeah.
and then Pixar did a different thing. Like I don't like Disney. I don't like Disney in particular, but I don't think their animation is bad. Like as an art form, I think their animation is good. I just don't like their storytelling. And the animation for Blue Sky, I didn't like a majority of their movies, but I loved how they animated. You know what I mean? And I like that competition where they're both learning off of each other and they're both like experimenting with different things so that they could be better. I don't like them being under the same roof.
I think that would be bad if everything was the same because Disney bought it. People would get bored of it. I mean,
Yeah.
naturally, people crave novelty, and I think Disney knows that. Like, I think they're gonna let the studios do their own thing. One, because it's easier that way; everything's set in place, and two, because if everyone's doing something different, that makes everybody else's work fresh.
I would hope so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I hope so.
I would hope so. But
Yeah.
the thing is, what I've seen, I'm not going to speak for you guys, but what I've seen so far is Disney likes to take the safe approach. We know this is going to work, so do this. And they do that often. So much of these animated movies are very similar. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't really try to... They're making a Frozen 2.
But
Do we really need one?
Yeah, I know. I mean, Disney has always done that. with
I
all the-
know. But usually they're straight to DVDs. They don't put a full production. So what's happening for Frozen 2 is instead of having a huge team, because it's a huge team that's making that movie, instead of having a huge team coming up with a new property, a new princess movie, they're making a sequel to a movie that was hit because it's safe. You see my dilemma with that?
No,
like,
yeah.
I would understand if they got a smaller team.
But that's
to
within
make
Disney.
yeah, I
Like-
know. But they could have got a smaller
They-
team just like they did for Aladdin 2, Cinderella 2, all these number 2s that go straight to DVD. They could get a smaller team to do that. But instead it's a feature because it's a popular thing and it's safe.
I will say though that I like the fact that like they did wait a couple of years before going into Frozen 2,
That's true.
because when Cars hit it big, and let's be honest, the only reason Cars 2 gets made
For kids.
is because Cars was a huge seller
yeah,
of toys.
And it's for kids.
Well,
It's easy for kids to be into.
well, that and for like a period of like 10 years, like Cars was the only boys Disney franchise.
True.
Because they had all kinds of stuff marketed around the princess line,
Right.
but when it came to like boys, like all they had was Cars up
Yeah.
until the Marvel
What
acquisition.
about Toy Story?
It was kind of like an all ages thing,
That's
and it was
true.
more for. But Cars, like
Yeah,
as
that's-
somebody
that was
who's worked
straight
in a
up.
store and like Like if it was a
I
boy's
agree.
bike, it was cars. If it was
Yeah.
toys, it was
even
it was
Aladdin.
cars.
Yeah.
Even Aladdin, they had toys for Aladdin because I had the toys for Aladdin, but they had a bunch of dolls for Jasmine and the tiger. It was like more marketed for girls.
Well, because let's be honest, for the period of like the late '90s into the early 2000s, Disney was seen as like, oh, that's a girls' company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, it's all about princesses and it's all about
which
you
is
know,
still their moneymaker.
yeah.
Those movies are the
No,
ones
yeah,
that keep them afloat, or
but-
not afloat, but
but I will
they bring in,
reserve
they bring in a lot of
judgment.
money.
I want to reserve judgment on Frozen 2 until I've seen.
Oh, me
Frozen
too,
2.
me too. My
Because
only
it actually looks interesting to me.
it doesn't look interesting at all, but I want to see the technological things that they're going to come up with. For me, I would have rather see like a brand new franchise, like something. I was so happy when they announced Tangled. I was like, holy shit, they're going back to the princess movies, and it's like 3D, and it's going to be good. I remember fucking.
Well, I mean, at this point, how many of those classic stories are left?
Dude,
Oh,
there's
there's
there
a
are
lot.
so many, dude.
Yeah.
If they're going into the what do you call it, the Polynesian mythos? There's so many other, dude. You could make a movie about like Aphrodite from Greek animation, Greek mythology. You could do one of I forgot the
Well, you can and you
Frasier.
Because if you start going into Greek mythology, there's some very adult themes.
They
in
made
Greek
Hercules
mythology.
and they didn't do anything.
No,
Oh yeah,
they
they
switch
made
it
it
up.
very
Yeah, they could just write
it's
it.
specific.
So, same thing with Moana. The whole Maui story is about like him killing a bunch of people and
Right.
then him trying to redeem himself.
Right,
Super
but-
gross.
But also, like, we're talking about the Aphrodite mythos. Like, according to the Greeks, like it's very.
Okay, so then
It's
Athena.
very.
Okay, not
she's
that
the
one.
goddess.
So
she's
then
the
Ath-
goddess. Okay, Athena. Yeah, Athena.
Athena. Okay.
Athena's
so-
a better choice.
But you understood what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're just making an argument to make an argument. Anyway, so
Well, no, I'm just saying. Like, I don't think Aphrodite's in the.
Wrong
whatever.
choice,
Unless she's
Pedro.
a supporting character.
and then you also have, if you want to go in that route, what's the Sphinx, the cat goddess from
The
from
Sphinx
no, the cat goddess from Egyptian mythology. I forget her name.
from Egyptian.
it's-
Bass.
Bastet.
Hey, that's
Uh,
true. Disney's never done a Egyptian themed
No,
movie,
they
huh?
haven't, but they will.
That'd be cool.
Why wouldn't they? So they have a bunch of stuff that they could do. That's what bothers me. And then they're going to a sequel that, I mean, it's probably going to be
Well,
decent. It's not going to be terrible. You know
To
what
their
I'm
defense, I will say they just spent $72 billion buying Fox.
saying? You think that this movie doesn't cost a lot of money to make? Frozen 2?
I think that it'll bring in a lot more than what it costs to make.
No, listen. If there's Disney stamped on it, everybody's going to watch it. It doesn't matter if it's brand new. Everyone's watching it.
Tell that to A Wrinkle in Time.
But it's not an animated movie, and that's
Yeah,
not
but
their
the-
bread and butter.
But again, it's
Princess and the
not
Frog.
everything that Disney makes is gold.
Princess and the Frog was like, it was their first step back into animation, and that shit fucking did really good. And that was after years of them
Did-
not making a
Did
princess
it?
movie.
I don't remember that movie doing very well financially.
It didn't.
I don't know.
It
but
may
I
have done
liked it.
well like afterwards
Yeah.
and in the home market, but
I remember
I
it
don't-
being
and
really
I
good.
know people look back on it fondly now, but I seem to remember at the time people
Yeah.
saying like 2D animation
might be
is
off.
dead, the
I
movie
just-
No,
I
yeah.
just-
At the time, it wasn't too. Yeah, it wasn't.
It was
too-
their first step back into the princess market. That's what my point.
that and like
Mm.
it was here's Disney releasing a 2D animated film
Right.
after we've had like multiple 3D computer animated films come
Right.
out, and like that's the wave of the future. Why is Disney trying to go back in time?
Because it looked dope.
Yeah. Imagine if, and you mentioned Chris earlier. He was the one who brought this up. Imagine if Frozen was animated 2D style.
Yeah,
That would look freaking awesome.
I agree.
I think that would be beautiful.
Well, that's because we also like 2D animation.
I guess
that's also
so.
a thing. Because
But
I do see the beauty in 3D. I love 3D.
No, I
but
agree.
I have like a little bit of a bias for 2D. I
Yeah.
love 2D.
But
a little bit.
I somebody who has nieces and nephews that are young, I can tell you that I've seen it myself where like there's no that connection with the old school 2D anime. It's like when we were kids and like they would show us like a black and white film
Mm-hmm.
and you'd be like, "Oh, a black and white
Mm.
film."
Not
with
me. I fucking
No,
love
not,
that shit.
Not well. That's not entirely true.
Well,
My
no.
daughter, hold on. My daughter, 4 years old. We show her these movies, Frozen, the CGI stuff, but she loves watching like old Casper cartoons on YouTube. She'll sit and watch like those really old. Black and white, or the ones where it's just Technicolor, little kids in Candyland, like the old stuff. I'll put that on, and she loves it, and she watches that more than she watches like CGI shows.
Yeah.
Well, I'm using in this example. My nephew is 13,
Yeah.
and my niece is probably about 8 years old now.
Mm.
So I don't know. It might just be the age difference.
I mean, it also has to do with what the parents expose them to. If they're only showing them CGI, then they're gonna be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
So like I show her both. Like I show her the 2D stuff and I show her the new stuff, but she gravitates towards the 2D stuff.
I think
Well,
it captures
I
more of the
know-
imagination.
Right.
as 2D.
It's more
I know
fun.
I did not begin to appreciate black and white film probably until I was like in my teens.
No, I fucking used to watch Nick at Night all the time,
yeah.
baby. I used to love that
Oh,
shit
no,
as a kid.
Like TV shows, I didn't mind, but like movies, like
Well, that's because there was none available, but I was open to it because I loved Nick at Night.
Black and
Fucking-
white? Oh,
Yeah.
Twilight Zone? I'd watch
Oh
Twilight
yeah,
Zone.
Twilight
since I was
Zone. I
a
used to
kid.
watch that shit when I was a kid.
love
you
Twilight
used to watch
Zone.
Twilight Zone as a kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me
Your
too.
parents
My
are-
So
mom,
did
my
I.
mom introduced me to it. When I
Wow.
was like 10 or 11, my mom showed me the movie Psycho, and I friggin' loved it. Alfred Hitchcock.
Am I the only one here that kind of grew up with like
Guess
an
so.
averse to like horror and thriller as a kid?
Oh no, my parents. Here's a fun story. My parents, when I was a little kid, we went to the Universal Studios, and you know that one ride, not a ride, it's a show about makeup and like special effects for horror movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they wanted to go see that. I was terrified to do it. I was like, I don't want to go in there because like the front thing was the Exorcist girl. That was like the image for it. And I was like, I don't know. What, are you crazy? I don't want to see this. You guys are out of your mind. And they're like, no, you have to. So they made me go. I was terrified. And then like I was, crying. My mom was explaining to me, oh, it's all fake. It's all fake. And after that little experience, every time I saw a horror movie, I was just like, that's fake. And I just remembered that show and how they did it. I was just like, that's fake because that's just a guy in a plastic suit. That's fake because that's just a rubber arm.
Yeah.
That's fake.
My wife
So
and I will show my daughter like scenes from a horror movie, like a zombie or something. Well, like sometimes they come up when we're watching TV or whatever, and we'll always tell her, "Oh, look, that's a puppet, that's a toy." And we did that since she was like very young. And now like when something scary pops up on the TV, like a zombie or whatever commercial for Walking Dead, she'll be like, "Oh," in Spanish, she speaks Spanish, but she'll be like, "Oh, that's a puppet, that's a cartoon," she'll say.
Yep.
And she understands that like scary stuff on TV is like
It's
a puppet
fake.
is fake.
It's fake.
And you just gotta tell them, like you show
Yeah.
them because they're gonna see it, and you just say
I was
that's fake.
exposed to it when I was
And
like,
they'll get it.
I was like really young. I was thinking 5 years old when that happened, and then after that, I was just like, I would still be scared, but I would like rationalize it, and I'll be like, that's a puppet. Like I saw the Fly. That was like the first movie I saw
With Jeff Goldblum?
with Jeff Goldblum. when I was
What, The Fly?
that's a good movie.
The letter to.
Anyway, so I saw that when I was really young, and remember the scene where his arm starts breaking, and the whole where he's transforming into the Fly,
Yeah,
and I
that's
was
cute.
freaking out about it. And then after like a couple of minutes of me looking at it with his eyes like getting big and shit, I was just like, wait, that's a toy, because it looks like a toy, and then it just never again cared. And ever since then, I was just like, yo, horror movies are the tits, bro.
I can just imagine Louis' daughter looking at this like with some other kid that's scared,
Yeah.
and looking at him like, you fucking pussy.
You don't even
That's
know.
what I'm going. That's what I'm hoping.
You don't even know this little girl. She is like that. She'll call you out the second you do it.
So all three of you, your parents were like they liked horror movies.
No, my parents didn't.
No.
My dad is super Christian, and he hates the devil. He went into that thing,
But I didn't say demonic.
but he thinks that everything that's horror is the devil. Like my Misfits T-shirt, he
That's
always
the
tells
devil.
me, he's just like, "Why do you wear the devil on your chest?"
Oh
Like,
wow, I
get
didn't
out
know
of here,
that.
bro.
Yeah, 'cause my mom's a scaredy cat too. Like to the point where like to this day, my mom will cover her eyes while watching a
hell
movie.
nah.
So I think that's probably like why I was never exposed to that stuff as a young
Yeah.
age.
No.
My mom's
We
like
got
that
to
too.
show you some horror movies, Eben.
Yeah, we got to
Open
see
your
Us. We got to go
eyes.
watch Us.
No,
I don't
that's-
know. I'm a large man and I don't like movies to get my heart racing. Like
Still.
at least not like for panic mode.
I fucking love it.
Like have a heart attack in the middle of the theater.
Anyway, what
But-
were we talking about? We were on the.
We're on the
talking
Fox
about horror
Disney.
movies.
Oh no! we should have a whole
Oh,
episode
I'd
about
love it.
horror movies. But going back to the
we probably
discussion
will.
on the Fox things, so they got the Blue Sky is what the last thing we were
Right.
talking about. That's how far of a tangent we got into. But and then what else? What else did they get besides the animation studios?
I mean, the only thing they didn't get is probably the easiest thing. Oh, by the way, they got Gus. This will be interesting for you. They got the Yes Network.
Really?
Yeah.
Disney
Yes!
owns the Yes Network?
Disney now owns the Yes Network.
But I thought that was.
I don't think Pedro's saying no. Pedro doesn't know what the Yes Network is.
have
I thought
no
that was
idea what-
owned by the. I thought that was owned by the Yankees.
No, it's a division of Fox.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, think about it. Yes Network is like a local Fox affiliate that shows a specific team.
Yeah, no, I just thought it was owned by the Yankees.
This must be sports stuff because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, it's basically
High five!
what is it? It's Yankees Entertainment. or
Something like that.
Wait,
Yeah.
did they show that sports ball? Is that the one sport they show?
Yeah,
Yep.
That's the
Okay,
one.
cool.
All the sports balls.
Shoot
I
a
love sports
three-pointer.
ball. But,
Go!
but basically, let's put it this way: they didn't get Fox,
The TV sh-
Channel
yeah.
7 in Miami. They didn't get the lot, the studio itself, the real estate. They didn't get that, and they didn't get Fox News.
Sorry.
And then I think a handful of other things that Fox gets to keep. But
I think that was the reason why they didn't get shut down for a monopoly. Was because they didn't acquire those things.
It's still scary though.
Well,
in my opinion, it is
and
scary.
I think
shit.
honestly, I think
What are you
Fox was
scared
not
of?
looking to unload that. I think Fox just kind of wanted to stay being a news company. And that's why they're like, this movie business is killing us. It's just that, and the fact that I think Fox Studios wasn't really turning a profit. So,
Well, I'll tell you what I do want to see. All right? I want to tell you what I do want to see. I want to see some goddamn good X-Men. That's what I want to see, guys. And I don't want to see a fucking movie. I want to see them as a TV show. I want a fucking X-Men TV show.
What, you don't like the animated series?
Like Umbrella Academy.
Like Umbrella
You want a
Academy.
live-action series?
Yeah, man. I really want that.
Doo-ga-doo-ga-doo-doo-doo. Everybody,
Doo-ga-doo-ga-doo-doo-doo.
doo-ga-doo-doo-doo.
You want to hear something funny, though? Louis, did you ever watch that show?
Huh?
Did you ever watch that?
Yeah, I watched like 3.5 episodes. You dick. Hey, I had the X-Men cartoon maker. I made my own X-Men cartoon.
That's true.
I made my own X-Men cartoon.
You didn't
That's
need,
awesome.
you
I
didn't
didn't
need the
need
actual
it.
show.
Leave in the comments if you ever had or played the X-Men cartoon maker or the
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
It was a Spider-Man.
If you had both games, they merged into one. It was a friggin' amazing. The greatest PC game ever made. PC games.
It was so bad. It
Just
was-
real quick, I made an episode where Magneto babysitted Wolverine and Spider-Man, and they and they went to the fun museum. I'm not going to go into it, but it was
They
the
went to
greatest.
the fun
They
museum.
went to the fun museum, and because so Magneto takes Wolverine and Spider-Man to the fun museum, and the fun museum is basically like a warehouse with like a puddle and wires.
Hey, stop.
That sounds like
We need to charge for this.
We need a what?
It's a premium service.
Oh, I'm sure they're gonna want to buy this idea.
Yeah. No, wait. Here's a better one. I made a cartoon where J. Jonah Jameson got crazy acne. So
Parker!
So Wolverine
Parker,
and
get me some
Spider-Man,
Clearasil and some more
For no-
pictures of Spider-Man.
for no reason, just jump and shrink and land on his face, and then get rid of all his pimples by like slashing them and using the web. It was just like the most.
There you go, Disney. Make a movie now, bitches.
Yeah, there you go. Oh man, we made such good.
Parker, get
cartoons,
me some Oxy pads.
my friends.
But no. So yeah, I want to see.
I need some Neutrogena.
I want to see an X-Men TV show, man. I want to see them actually showcase these kids going through, adolescence and once
But like a real X-Men TV
real
show,
X-Men TV.
not
Real.
like using the C Squad like
No,
like
no,
the
no.
Gifted
I want to
does.
see the Jean Greys. I want to see the freaking Scott Summers. I want to see Professor X Beast. I want to see all these people interacting as teenagers.
Can we get the original class?
Yes, that's what I
Can-
want.
I want the original 5.
That's because that's the best one in their teenage years when they're like going, hey, let's go to the mall and be some cool guy. And then they go to the mall, and then all of a sudden there's a mutant not understanding how to handle their powers, and they're like, we got to take care of this guy, and then that's the whole
Gotcha,
fucking
bro.
thing. Yeah, I think that was so cool.
So you're envisioning like a Freak of the Week episode type thing.
Well, yeah. Have you ever seen the Ninja Turtles cartoon? That's literally what it was, and it was so good.
Yeah.
It was every
who-
episode you had a different.
which characters are the original 5?
Beast,
Mhm.
Iceman,
Boom.
Marvel Girl,
Which is
Jean Grey,
boom.
Cyclops,
There it is.
and Angel.
Archangel.
And then
No,
you
no,
also
no, just
Angel?
Angel.
yeah, Archangel is
doesn't be-
after Apocalypse, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Yeah, so you have Angel, and then you have Professor X.
Professor X, yeah.
But Professor X doesn't really matter.
Charles Xavier.
And then they
Charles
start to like,
Charles.
yeah, and then they start to like
Charles.
introduce other characters.
Yeah.
And so on.
But the original cast, that's what the storyline was. It was mostly about like day-and-day things with the kids, and then sometimes they would not sometimes, it was always happening, but they would always have to go out and save somebody and help them out with their mutant powers, and then they'll get in some crazy predicaments with some other mutants that are trying to sabotage them.
It might, maybe they'll do an episode like I did once in the X-Men Cartoon Maker where Professor X and Magneto are going Christmas shopping and they can't find a parking space. So then Magneto's like, Charles, this is before he needed the wheelchair. He's like, Charles, go see if you can find a parking space over there. And then Charles gets out of the car and then Magneto runs him over his legs. He's like, Homo Superior wins again. We can park in the handicap spot. That was one of our cartoons.
That's fucking
I
awesome.
never saw that one.
Yeah, that was one of the ones.
Oh my god, I never saw that one. Homo Superior wins again.
That was my friend Chris. He made it because we would take turns doing scenes, and that was him.
God. Oh my god. Yes.
Oh, man.
See, there you go, Disney. Have some more ideas.
And then we would always.
You know what that reminds me of is the little shorts they used to play on on Adult Swim and stuff.
Yes, it's
And
so
then
good.
there was another one we did where we always made Professor X a super creepy, pervy guy who always came on to Jean Grey.
Have you read the original comics?
That's kind of how.
Oh yeah.
How it
So
was.
he basically.
You're not far off.
There was an episode we did where he basically gets naked on the couch by himself, and I drew it. I drew his legs all shriveled up and his private parts looking nasty, and then he takes a picture of himself, and he means to send it to Jean Grey. But he accidentally does, he clicks on the thing that, attaches all the X-Men in the email and sends it out to everybody. So he has to go out. I think we made him, go up and, kill every X-Men so that he wouldn't see the email or something like that.
The funny thing is that I could totally see that happening because, he's an older person who doesn't understand technology.
Exactly, that was it.
Oh no, I just sent the emails to everybody.
Exactly.
But if you ever go back, if you ever look at the original X-Men comics, it's always full of Professor X being I can't let Jean know that I'm secretly in love with her.
That was a whole
I was
thing, dude. Everybody loved
she's
Jean
14,
Grey.
you creepy old
Yeah.
man.
Everybody was in love with Jean Grey. And that's pretty much why they made her a badass, because up until that point, she was just a forgettable girl character. And then, someone got the reins to her, and they're like, wait a minute. Let's make her, Omega level. And they just went crazy with her powers.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, it's not Omega level. It's let's imbue her with a cosmic entity that predates the Big Bang.
Before that, remember she wasn't able to control her powers before that until the Phoenix Force. And then she just became, fuck it. She's OP. That's just what we're
The
gonna
fun
do.
thing is when you read about what the Phoenix Force is, and it's it predates the Big Bang and the creation of the universe.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's
just, goddamn. That's all it is. But yeah, I want to see X-Men. What do you guys want to see? What would you
I
guys?
said it before. I want to see Doctor Doom
But
done right.
What exactly do you want to see? You want to see a
Okay,
movie?
first I want to see. I don't care how they do it, to be honest, but I want him to have his metal armor because they always fudge that up. They never give him his metal armor. It's like some stupid freak accident where his
Oh, by the
metal
way,
took
when he
what-
says fudge, he meant fuck. Continue.
Hey, I like to stay PG because I want to stay, be something different from all you other motherfuckers in this
there you
room.
go. I like that better. Go.
don't you frackin' tell anybody how to swear.
Oh,
We will say whatever
For the
frack
love of
we
tennis.
Well, yeah, you were saying about the costume. You
shoes.
wanted the
What?
costume to be legit. You want him to have that
What is
freaking.
going on here?
Yeah, so anyways, I want him to do Doctor Doom right. And the rest of the Fantastic Four, really, because, I don't know, they just can't do it right.
Is there a specific storyline you really like? You would want to see?
I can't think of any because I never read the comics. I just like the character.
Let's start off with the first one. Let's do a proper origin, and then introduce the Mole Man.
The Mole Man?
Oh,
they
yeah.
did already. It's called Incredibles 1 and 2.
Yeah.
They already did that.
They already did that in One Punch Man.
But
Oh, yeah, that's true.
The mole people.
no, but let's send them into the negative zone for real,
That negative
and
zone.
introduce Annihilus.
Oh, yeah. That's really going back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would prefer, I want to kind of fast track it a little bit because my
Sure.
favorite Doctor Doom is when
And
he had his
I've
freaking
even-
own city and he
Oh,
had,
Latveria.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
no,
he had all
that's the Doctor Doom I like.
he had all the Doom bots. and-
Diplomatic immunity.
Yeah, oh my
Yeah.
God, it's so cool.
He takes down
man.
Galactus in Secret Wars.
Yep.
Man, that guy's the best.
He is the best.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's I
you
read
want
the
to see
Secret
the
Wars.
Secret
That's,
Wars?
Oh,
I
how
mean,
about Galactus done right?
Oh,
yeah, for sure.
We're talking about Galactus, Silver Surfer done right.
Oh,
'Cause
yes.
goddamn, Silver Surfer's dope.
Yes. Eben, look in my eyes. Yes. Yeah, Galactus was a friggin' cloud in the movie.
Yeah, it was fucked up. How about so you don't have to change the origin too much. They're in the 60s. The movie starts.
Mhm.
They go into space.
Oh,
They
yeah.
get lost,
Oh, yes.
and then they reemerge present day.
Oh, fudge, yes.
I would like that, yeah,
Oh,
man.
yeah, that's a good idea. I like that idea.
Right? Like the cosmic storm
That would
they run
explain why
into,
they don't
like-
exist in the Marvels.
Yeah.
Oh, man, you guys. That's what they got to do. This is exciting. I hope they do that.
I want to see all
Disney,
that shit.
I know you're
But-
listening to this podcast. Okay? Do that.
I want to, yeah, man. Oh, I'm trying to think.
You know
of,
what? I wouldn't be surprised if Disney has like people like
Closer.
ears all over them just to, potential
ears.
lawsuit material.
No, well, our ideas are pretty good with the freaking parking spot thing.
Oh,
That's
there you go.
pretty good. But I'm thinking. Like I honestly really want to see a movie with, in the line of in the world of Fantastic Four. I want to see a good ass Silver Surfer and Galactus kind of movie, like where
Yeah, they need their
Well,
own movie.
we don't
not
even,
necessarily the Fantastic Four, but I want to see those two.
Well, we don't even need to introduce Silver Surfer and Galactus in a Fantastic Four movie.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
We can introduce them in Guardians 3.
Ooh, I like that.
James
I
Gunn.
like that. Listen up,
that.
James.
And that way you get like Silver Surfer out in space, like in all of his
Oh
glory.
my god, dude, I love Silver Surfer, bro. He's
Silver
so
Surfer's
cool.
awesome.
He's so cool.
Yeah. He
But
is
yeah,
cool.
Aside from that, Doctor Doom, yeah, obviously, because Doctor Doom is just. I would consider him probably my first or second favorite villain of all time because he's just that badass.
He's my all-time favorite Marvel character. Comic book character.
So I would want to see that, but obviously Joker is number one for me. And then, what else?
I don't know. I think it's getting to be that time.
It's getting that time. How far are we? Oh, we're 1:30 almost.
Yeah.
It's pretty. We went deep in some
Yeah.
speculations today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
It was a
I
whole
guess-
episode of speculations.
Anyway.
Are we not
Is-
going to do our original planned?
No, I think we're gonna save that
Can we
for the
save
next
it? Okay,
episode.
because I want a whole episode for that.
Yeah.
I would like to do that.
And do we want to let them know so
Yeah.
they can start giving us their ideas on
Sure.
on the social medias?
Yes.
All right, guys. So we thought that if we had enough time, we were gonna do our top female villains.
Top 5, right?
Well, yeah, top 5 would be the ideal. If you've got a top 10, if you've got a top 3, if you just got one badass female villain that you think is deserving of being the reigning female villain of all time, we want to hear about it. We want to hear about it on our Facebook group. If you're not there, why not? Just go. You can find us.
It's
Just
where
look
all
up.
the action is
Just,
happening.
yeah, just look up We Ain't Found Sith on Facebook. Answer me these questions 3, and I will allow you into the group. Then hit us up on Twitter. We Ain't Found Sith on Twitter. Or hit us up on Instagram. We Ain't Found Sith on Instagram. And just let us know what female villains are your top female villains. And it doesn't have to be from comic books. It doesn't have to be from movies. It can be from literature. It could be from TV. It could be from any form of media that is mass consumed.
Oh, and Coulter.
Jesus.
If that's what does it for you, Gus. But yeah, let us know on the social medias, and again, make sure leave comments on the SoundCloud. Let us know what you're thinking. I know I check the SoundCloud pretty much every day. Leave us a review on iTunes. Get us into the new and noteworthy. I saw that we have I think 6 or 7 5-star reviews, but only 3 actual reviews, commented reviews. So just make sure
Oh, sorry, I wanted to say, but finish.
Yeah. And then hit that subscribe button so that the episodes automatically download, and you don't have to be going, oh, when's the next episode coming out? I got to go look for it. It's like, nope, I logged into iTunes, and automatically downloaded because the new episode came out.
All right, so behind the scenes, there's been a recurring little back and forth, especially between Pedro and Eben, and I think it's a good question to pose to the listeners to leave their opinion on Facebook or wherever you're comfortable leaving your answer. But
I know where you're
let's
going.
just do this real quick.
I know where you're
But
going.
I think this will be fun. Who was the villain in Moana?
Oh my goodness.
Let's just take a quick moment.
Louis, you fucked up.
Pedro, you
Get ready. This is gonna be 4 hours.
No. Just you go. No interrupting. Just real quick. A couple minutes. You give your answer, Pedro. Eben, you give your answer, and let's let the listeners kind of like give us their opinion based off of your your explanations. So let's go with Pedro first. Right?
God damn it.
Are you okay with that, Eben?
I'm not ready.
I will allow Pedro to go first.
Oh, do you want to go first, Eben?
No, Pedro.
No,
say
obviously he wants me to go first. He wants time to prepare because I would want the same thing. I guess. Okay. Clearly.
You need time to prepare an argument that we've been having for 2 years?
Yeah. I
Well,
figured
if
you'd
we're
have
only
it.
gonna have to fucking cram it down into one sentence, yeah, I got to think about it because this was
No,
like
we can talk about it on the next show once we get all
Okay.
these answers.
Okay.
But just your thing. His thing.
So the question at hand is who's the villain of Moana, and it's
Right.
very clear that the villain of Moana is what's the mountain's name?
Taka?
Taka, the
Okay.
fucking lava,
The lava monster?
the lava mountain
Mountain.
monster.
And that's it. Don't explain why. We'll save that for the next show. No.
Oh, is that what you want to do?
Yeah,
I thought
fuck
they
it.
would present their argument. So
No, because
that,
the mountain is a lady, isn't it?
Huh?
The mountain is
Yeah.
a female
well, yeah, but I don't.
in the movie. No.
Yeah.
We can say that for the next show. Then that's what we're gonna talk about the next show. Anyways, we'll start off with that
Unless
shit.
she's not the villain.
And I am of the opinion that it is a force of nature, and forces of nature are neither good nor evil, and therefore it can't be the villain because it's basically a non-sentient creature.
So then who's the villain?
How is this fair?
In
How is this
my-
fair?
in-
He just gave an example. All I
let's
said
go
was
back.
my position.
Let's go back. Real quick.
Okay, I
Just-
am of the opinion that the villain is Maui
Maui.
because he creates Taka.
No, that's it. You said who it is. That's it.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
He already
Pedro,
gave a bunch of information.
Pedro, give a little
Yeah, he
bit of
did.
info so it's fair.
Okay, so in the actual lore of the movie, they actually explain to the kids, which is the grandma explaining to the kids, that the mountain is this monster doing monstrous things. It's its own character, and it has a separate name to the actual woman mountain.
Okay,
They
so
have
let's
two different
leave it
characters.
at that. No more discussion about it. Listeners,
This is painful. I want to go.
leave your comments, and then these two will reveal the argument next time. Right? Did
That's
I
a
say
good
that?
idea.
And
Oh, yeah.
will. I don't want to jump the gun before our listeners have a chance to listen. So I will say to those who are in the group page that are moderators, once you've heard this episode, create a poll in the Facebook group with those two options
Oh, there you go.
I got a poll for you.
and allow for people to maybe even add other options. And we'll leave it up to the group to decide.
Yeah, because I think the grandma was the bad guy. But let's leave that for another time.
The water was the
The
bad
water
guy.
was the bad guy.
What about the dad?
Oh, yeah, he was.
Wait, how about the Tamatoa? He was the bad guy. He was literally the bad guy. Anyway.
A Tamatoa hasn't always been
been
as
as
grand. That was a sad little crab.
Don't get us started about Moana, kids.
I could sing
All
the
right.
whole song.
Well,
This is
we're gonna be doing a live We Ain't Foul Sith episode recording from Lincoln's Beard Brewery on the 30th of this month, which is not this coming Saturday, but the one after. So come out and hang out with your boys, have some beer,
Yeah, do it.
get fucking silly with us.
there. You go.
Nah.
I didn't say jiggy, motherfucker.
I know, but it sounded like you did.
Okay.
Anyways, this has been We Ain't Found Sith issue 7. And like I said, man, really, leave us those reviews. Hit the subscribe button. I know some of you listen on Spotify. I don't know if Spotify has the ability to leave comments.
Yep, because I did.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, no, Spotify. No, I'm thinking SoundCloud. Sorry.
Yeah, SoundCloud. SoundCloud definitely. SoundCloud. Leave us those comments, and we will engage. If you don't have iTunes, if you're using something else, just you don't even have to listen to the episode. I think you just go into the SoundCloud page and comment, and then obviously the Facebook group page.
Yeah. Join all that stuff, kids.
Yeah, kids.
All right. Well, see you later, Sith heads.
We ain't found Sith.
Oh.